All right, welcome to On the Record. I'm your host, Jamal Raheem Harris. Now, we're doing something a little bit different because I can't be going to these record stores because everything is closed where I'm at. So I have Jordan Brown on. He's a singer. I personally found him on SoundCloud. The song Goodbye is actually how I found you. And I just listened to the EP after that. So, first of all, how you doing? What's going on? Where you at?
Man, I'm chilling. I'm over in Philly. It's the new year. Didn't quite feel like it, but we're all working and pivoting off of whatever we were doing before, and I'm just trying to find my way.
Yeah. I mean, everything's changed. With me personally, I can just go off of me. I worked in education, like I work in education, okay, but that has changed completely. So I was like, I took this opportunity, like, what do I really want to do? Because like education's cool, but I don't really want to be in education forever because there's hella issues. So I have a question. What made you, I guess we could start off, why'd you pick your name, Jordan Brown, instead of coming up with one like a creative, that's different, but like just a name that's fake outside of your own?
Yeah, actually, I had a homie when I was younger who went by, he was always going by Theodore Grands, but his real name was Kamal, and he always wished that he just went with his real name. I think it was a time when like a lot of artists, like their real names was starting to become like a stronger statement piece of like who I am. And I think that stuck with me. And then on top of that, I just could never find something that really stuck. Like I was just really struggling to like find something. And then I have like a long name. I'm trying to use my middle names. My middle name is Alvin. Can't do nothing with that.
Yeah.
it's like my pop's middle name and his pop's middle name. It was just, I was like, all right, well, Alvin scratched. It's Jordan Michael. I have two. My first name's hyphenated. It's Jordan Michael. My middle name is Alvin. My last name is Brown. So I was trying to like figure something out, and nothing ever really stuck. Meanwhile, I'm working with two dudes. The one guy, he's like a producer named RJD2, which is a spinoff of R2D2.
That's actually really crazy.
And and it stuck, and like it really was. He's been around for a long time. And then the rapper who introduced me to him, his name is STS, stands for Sugar Tongue Slim. So we're collaborating on music or whatever, and then it's just all these they're acronyms, and then my long ass name, Jordan Brown.
Yeah.
So it's definitely in the way sometimes, but I think I'm just kind of trying to roll with it. The Brown, I feel like it has like an R&B, like a classic sound to it. A lot of people just call me Jordan Brown. Just like in my neighborhood, it always was my first and last name. Like
your whole
Jordans around. Yeah, so I think I have so many songs out now. I think I just have to roll with it. But I would love to find a cool name and maybe even make like a different kind of music under a different name and just kind of keep things open,
Yeah, that's what I was about to ask you. Have you ever thought to say that you wanted to do like some experimental music that you don't really want to have it connected to your name? Have you ever thought about going by different, just like a whole new, even though it's the same person, just a whole different name and stuff like that?
Yeah, there's like so many cool things you can do with filters and just have like the voice sound different or a completely different kind of music. And then on the flip, like even if it was just some music that I didn't want to necessarily be associated with Jordan Brown or with me, like if I'm doing something just for some money, I could also just use a different name just to kind of keep it away.
So like what would you describe as like your sound? Like, I mean, I listened to you obviously because I wouldn't have contacted you, but like for somebody who doesn't know who you are, how would you describe your sound to them?
I wanted to be soul, but soul for me just includes so many live instruments, and I just feel like it's so hard these days to get like a band together and make some live sound. So somebody recently gave me the idea of just calling it alternative R&B, because I feel like R&B is has this mainstream, surrounding it, and I don't know, just R&B for me. I actually was listening to something you were saying on one of your pages, how like women killed R&B this year. Like they were just so good. Like all the women artists are just, and that's always been the case. Like I have 6 older sisters. All the R&B I was listening to is mostly women. Beyonce, Destiny's Child, like Sade. So I just want to. Damn, I forgot the question, bro. Man,
I was saying how you describe your sound.
Alternative R&B.
Because
trying to find, just something different. Like it's not straight out R&B, and I have so many influences.
All right, going off of that, because with me, I always have a trouble on like what is R&B, I guess, because the way they put people in categories, like, cause some people I'm like, that's clearly pop. So like,
right.
So what like inspires you, or who? Because it could be both. Like, who inspires you to like do the music you do, and to keep going with everything going on?
Yeah, there's it's just funny how you said the R&B is like pop. There's also this like idea I have about hip pop, like hip hop anymore. There's hip pop. There's all these rappers who are also just making pop music. Mm-hmm. But I really, I'm just like trying to do whatever comes to me. Like I love hip hop. I mean, I think that's like, as much as I'm an R&B singer, hip hop has just like jazz involved and just all of the roots, and of course it just has this cool factor and like just the storytelling. Like it's for me, it's more about the story, whereas all the R&B most of the R&B I've listened to is just about like love stories. So I think my desire for like a more full story led me to hip hop. So I originally, with the EP you listened to, I wanted to do like a trap blues.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Because I don't know if you heard the one song Dee Dee Date. It kind of has like this like country vibe to it, and I have a background in jazz also, so just really keeping things open, and just whatever I sound, whatever sound that I like whatever kind of comes to me, I'll try. Like I'm not afraid to take something that doesn't sound like R&B and make it R&B to me. I feel like my voice has a tendency to, like, I do certain things with my voice that make things sound a certain way, and it usually is like on the lines of R&B. I got my falsetto. This woman the other day said I remind her of like Maxwell and John Legend, and that was beautiful to me. I was so happy about that. You know what I mean?
That's a great compliment.
Yeah, it was funny. She waited till her boyfriend walked away too. She's an older lady, and her boyfriend walked away, and she made a beeline for me. All my friends were cracking up. But yeah, to sit somewhere in that pocket, I got my falsetto. I have a strong voice, and then just to really, the alternative. It's not quite R&B. It can be all these other things. Because at the same time, I want to make what I want to make, but I also want it to cover ground and be relatable to different people and catch ears from different people. Listen to different genres.
Yeah, that's the thing I was gonna ask you. I didn't write it down. I was gonna say, like, do you see yourself, I guess, like genre blending, if that's what it is? Because like when you listen to like even like I'm gonna go like Don Toliver, right?
Mm-hmm.
What would like, is he hip hop? Is he R&B? Everything kind of is like starting to blend into like one little thing. So like I kind of don't know where music is going with like, I guess everything sounds like it can be R&B or a hip hop song. So do you see yourself, well, because I wanted a trap song, for instance. Like, do you have plans on making like a song that's like trap, kind of whatever trap means now, but like trap-ish?
I just feel like I do love trap beats. like there's just so much energy in that music, and if I could, if I could like figure out a way to fit something in that sounded cool, that would be dope. Like I'm not afraid to like try it, but I feel like I also have an ear to be like, nah, chill, this doesn't sound right. Like don't put this out. um, so yeah, I think I mean, like I was saying, I've always loved rap, but I think because I've been such a singer and because I've like worked around so many great rappers, I've just been afraid to rap. But I think there's also a way where I could, just use my words more and sing a little bit less, and just do both and just be like multifaceted and work on that. Because I have a tendency to write my songs with a lot of lyrics, which is just like it's my tendency, and I think it's my me wanting to rap. I really feel like SZA is almost like rapping, man. Like she just be going in. If you break down her flow and like just how many words, like she's rapping, and she can just sing her ass off.
So like how do you like deal with the writer's block? Because I was watching like interviews, like literally I was watching MF Doom interviews literally because obviously he passed away, and that shocked the hell out of me. And I was listening to his interviews, and he was talking about writer's block. So how do you deal with that? Because I personally
I can't imagine MF Doom having writer's block, bro. He just be going in.
Like his lyrics, like it's just so like catching his lyrics, because I was like listening to a whole bunch of them after he passed away. It just shocked the hell out of me. Like I was listening to the Mad Villain album with Madlib, and some of the lyrics, I'm like, man, there's so many in just that one little bar. Like it can be used 3 different ways. It was just, but how do you deal?
I have an MF Doom tattoo on the back of my leg, like a big pizza slice with his mask in it, and it's like a melting pizza slice. Like I'm a big MF Doom fan. I think that goes back to like my my want for rap and my love for rap. But he also makes the crazy samples. Like I feel like I learned a lot about the history of music through just tracking down what his samples were.
Yeah.
So yeah, with writer's block, I recently heard that Sir was working with Jill Scott on a song, and he said that she just came in. I think it's like his recent album. She's on one of his songs, and she came in with a book that just had like all these ideas in it that she had written down. Some of it might be songs, some of it just might be like words and sentences, and it made me feel good because like I do that in a sense where I just I hear a sentence or an old saying, or like somebody says something that's just really impactful, and I just write it down. And then if I'm really struggling to like find something, I'll just go through and reread these things and try to see if they fit in on this song, anywhere, if they fit in with the theme, if I can flip it somehow, if I can twist it somehow. Another like mentor rapper who I've worked a lot with, he also put me on to just hit the internet, like look up something, go to Wikipedia page, look up like one subject of what you're writing about, and then just like open it up. And even if you're going into like super detail, especially for rap, like rappers can go into detail, somebody might just be like an electrician and know all the electricity stuff he's rapping about. Like it's just to really just dive in.
I would say because like for a rapper, I think like for rappers, there's so much they can rap about,
Right.
So
I'm jealous, man.
Like R&B, like I guess you can talk about like stuff like not love and stuff like that, but it's kind of not normal, I guess. It's out the norm. So so how you're from Philly, right? So you got too many like artists from Philly. So what venue would be like your dream venue to play at? It don't even have to be in Philly, but it can be Madison Square Garden, anywhere.
I got to play at this venue in Denver called the Red Rocks,
Oh, okay.
and it's this massive venue. But I was there with the two artists that I've worked and like traveled with a bit, and it wasn't my show, and it was a super dope experience. But I just imagine like being there and doing my own music. That would be a real dream come true. I mean, like the Beatles have played there, like
Yeah, I know Stevie
really.
Wonder played there.
Oh my God, bro, that would be so crazy. Like the way that the way it's set up is that there's two rocks on either side of you, and it's like a triangle. And the stage is down at the bottom, and these rocks are massive. And I think it sits like 40,000 people or
Oh,
something.
wow, that's
Like
huge then.
it's huge. They do like yoga there in the mornings, and
Mm.
yeah. So that would be my spot. If I could go back there on my own with like a band and just be doing my own music, that would be crazy.
So when you perform live, do you have like your like a band that's like your band that comes with you, or you just solo dolo? Like,
I've there's a spot in Philly called Green Soul that was like soul food spot, and they also just had this nice setup for like a little stage. And I was going there and doing a full band, a drummer, bass, and guitar, and we did a lot of covers because I only have like 5 songs out, so we were just doing a bunch of covers, and that was great. Um, but whenever I'm just doing a little show here or there, I just bring my tracks and
mm,
have somebody put the tracks on, and I just sing over them.
mm. So,
Yeah, because bands are expensive, man.
oh yeah, that's everything's expensive now with everything that's going on. I'm like, because I used to be
Yeah.
able to go to a record store and drop money and not think about it. Now, if I go there, I'm like, ooh, that one costs $30. I know I want that vinyl, but like I
Hmm.
can get like 5 CDs for that price. I gotta like think about
Yeah.
those now. When before I just be like slide the card. I don't care. I get paid next week.
Yeah.
Education, it's the money's coming regardless for me because when I worked,
That's what I heard.
I was getting. It doesn't matter like how like 5 students or 50 students, I'm getting paid regardless. So
Hmm.
now with everything changing, I'm like, let's think about this purchase. But
Yeah, my
um,
big bro is a teacher out in San Francisco. Um, he was telling me about it, and he's like, I'm doing good. I'm like, dang, sounds pretty
yeah,
nice being a teacher. Like I know it's good out there.
teachers are eating really good because, well, I wouldn't say they don't get
It
paid
should
enough
be,
on that,
man.
but
Right,
they're
right.
still working the same hours, but they're not traveling and everything's on Zoom. I never heard of Zoom until the pandemic, and I had to download. I've been on Zoom so much, like I get Zoom like fatigue is so much like, but because my girlfriend's her aunt is a teacher in San Francisco, and like she like works the same amount of hours, but she's not traveling to work, so she's making the same amount and she's not traveling. She's doing
Hmm.
everything the same. So she's doing like way better than she probably would have been doing if it wasn't the pandemic, because she's saving probably
Right.
1,000 a month on traveling,
Mm.
gas, all that stuff. So,
Hmm.
but how
But
would
yeah,
you?
you were just the records. Like, uh, when did you used to buy records when they was cheap? I feel like records the past couple of
Well,
years have been
so I
way
had
through the roof.
the the benefit of certain places, like I would go and I would see a vinyl, and since it's kind of weird, like in San Diego, because I'm from San Diego,
Oh,
certain
okay.
places there, certain artists they didn't like value as much. So like I
Mm.
remember I went to Urban Outfitters, just Urban Outfitters. I was in there. I happened to be in the area. I got a DMX vinyl for $6
Oh
because
shit.
they don't, like they
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
value
yeah, yeah.
certain artists like that. And then, but they don't also have the certain collection. Like I can never find the Roots. I can't find the Roots. I can't find
Mm.
Jay-Z is hard to find here. Any like Pete
Hmm.
Rock or anybody like that, it's gonna be really hard for you to find. And unless you go to like the big, big stores, which I'm not gonna go to if they're even open, you're gonna you're
Yeah.
gonna have a hard time finding certain artists. And when
Funny you
you
say the
do find,
roots. You see this John over my shoulder?
yeah, that's why I said the Roots because I saw that.
Yeah.
But Yeah, we don't get to see, like, we don't get a lot of, like, at the record store, some of the stuff be like mad cheap because they're not valuing certain things. Like even like um some Bay Area artists, like it's, and I'm from Southern California. They don't have them in Southern California, but when I moved to the Bay, they got every artist from the Bay, but they don't really have Southern California artists. So it's kind of, they don't value stuff. It's kind of weird.
Like, yeah, it's like jerseys, I guess. Like I'd be going to New York or New Jersey and getting like Philadelphia Eagles jersey for cheaper, and they're mad close.
Yeah, they're real close actually.
Yeah, and there's, you know, you actually get fans. You know, Philly has Jersey Eagle fans, but I guess it's slightly different. But you know, just going to a different place, having something be cheaper, like I can see it.
But I do like my ultimate goal, literally when like I started, because I was like, all right, I knew education. I'm still gonna work in education, but I was like, all right, what do I really want to do? What do I like? And I travel every year to DC, see my girlfriend's family for the holidays, except I didn't do it this year. And like to see like the artists that they like value when you go to a record store, and to see like what they like, they got go-go. I never heard of go-go music until probably like 4 or 5 years ago. And then like they value that way more than they value like R&B. Like they're seeing
go-go like a Southern John, like a fast.
Is like
is that where? Oh, what's her name? Yeah, what is it? What is it like? It's not coming to me.
So go-go is like, I don't even know how to
dance
describe
music, right? It's like twerking music, like
it's like a certain tempo is how I like. I can be like, oh, that's a go-go song. Now
Frida do
that's bounce.
Oh,
that's
bounce.
Like the bounce music. But like there's certain places, like hearing their sound is cool to me. Like when you go to another place and then like
right.
Like I personally want to, like, I've been to New York, but I want to go to New York and be able to like just be there and enjoy the music scene, because New York rappers rap way different than rappers from California or rappers from the
it's so
South.
crazy.
Like it's like, and even like Philly, you got like Beans, you got Freeway, Cassidy, all of them. Like they rap
Meek
different.
Mill, and you got like Little Uzi. I don't know Uzi fits. Uzi, I don't know where Uzi fits in with all
Philly,
that.
huh? He is from Philly.
Yeah, Uzi's from Philly. Meek Mill's from here.
There's a lot of rappers from Philly. Now you think
Petey Crack, yo. Petey Crack has been like working on some new music. You should peep his new stuff.
I thought he was gonna be, when I first heard him, I thought he was gonna be the one to pop from Rockefeller instead of like Beanie Siegel.
I think that's what everybody thought.
I was like, oh, he's gonna be able to pop, but like it never happened like I thought it would. But I was like, he's gonna be the one, because Beanie Siegel.
Yeah, I got to get in the studio. Yeah, Beans is still like, yeah, he's not doing good. I feel like his health, like his body's not doing good. I think he had
he
was a drug problem too.
I know,
but I got in the studio with Petey. Like Petey's just a real thorough dude. I like had him sign something. I just totally fanned out. I was like, yo, like you're, you know, I was growing up. Like that shit was big, and you know he's still like, I hope I could do something for him one day. You know, like we was talking about with music and like R&B being about love. Like how could I get in a song with Petey Crack? Like I could sing my ass off, but like how can I?
Yeah, because he's not.
There, you know what I mean?
He ain't rapping about love.
Right. He might though. If he ever does, maybe that'll be my.
I feel like
that'll be my time.
I feel like if he was gonna do that, like it would have been like 10 years ago. If he was gonna, he got his sound and it's set. Like, but so
the new song I just heard was tight. You should definitely peep it. I'll send it to you on IG.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Shit. So for somebody who's never heard of you, what do you recommend they listen? Like, what song would you tell them to listen
to? Of my songs that are out, I feel like the one that is like, dang, I don't know. I don't want to steer somebody in the wrong direction. So like, either DD Date. It's like a faster pace one, and like I feel like the production on it really hits hard and like it sounds good. But the song that I really like the most is Goodbye. It has those like jazzy tones for me. Yeah. I had somebody listen to my music and just say that I wasn't really showing my voice off. And I was like, man, yeah, I think I need to get better at writing in a way that showcases my voice. And that's just like something I have to look forward to
Do you
working on,
think it's like the beats, that is it, the beats, or you just think it's your writing
I
that isn't
I
showcasing
think
your
it's the I think sometimes it could be a little bit of both, but I like sometimes I like beats that are just really repetitive because then I can kind of do whatever I want in them. But sometimes when beats have like changes and like beats have moments,
voice? Mm-hmm.
it'll just like lend to me having to change and like write a new melody and a new idea for that part. So yeah, I think it's a little bit of both.
Because I know, like me personally, I heard your who's because on SoundCloud, I don't know how regular you be on SoundCloud. I be on it like that's my social media personally. But I was listening to, who was it? What R&B singer? What, Dwell A?
Oh, okay.
Dwell A, and then your song came up on there, which is random
Oh,
because
that's fire. That's
the sound
fire
of
though.
it.
That warms my heart.
That's how I really found it. I was like, oh, because I'll put on a station or like an artist, and then they'll play artists who are similar. So that's how I found like Goodbye, and I was like, let me click and see what he got. Like,
Hmm.
so
That's
that's
what's up. Yeah, I mean, Dwelly, he's he's old school R&B. A lot of love songs, right?
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's why it
What was
kind
his
of
big hit?
surprised me on like that your song, because Dwelle's like 2000s, early
Yeah.
2000s. I was like, oh, okay.
I think those algorithms are super interesting. That's all. It's all like math, but I wonder if those math people have like music backgrounds. Who
I
they're
don't know
making
how
them
they
algorithms.
like. There's certain like songs that I hear and I'm like, why is it not bigger? Like, why is
Yeah.
this not bigger? It's random. Like, there's so many talented people out there though. So that
Well, it kind of brings me to like another thing where like some people are listening to music for like they want to like be like that person or something. So then you're selling like a whole brand. Like
mhm.
some of these artists, people aren't even necessarily listening to the music. It's like what that music means, or like what liking that music means to them. I feel like capitalism comes into play and
Oh
just
yeah,
like all types of things. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
then you have these independent artists. Independent artists might drop like a couple gems, but their other music isn't like on that same wave. So you only like the big song, and it's just there's. I think it's more authentic. It's more like natural. It's unnatural for someone to go and write 15 hits and
yeah.
just keep putting out albums, like 3 albums in the span of 3 years, and all the albums sound the same. Like that's not natural, and
Yeah,
that's
there's a lot of artists like that. I don't want to say no names. There's a
I don't want to
couple
say no
big
names
artists.
either, but
I
right.
ain't even make it yet. I ain't trying to get, but there's like people like, I'm gonna say a name. I don't care. Like Drake. Drake.
Mhm. Mhm.
Drake is somebody that when I hear Drake, I'm like, I know you can really rap, but like your albums, they sound like a greatest hit album, and I don't
Right.
personally like hearing like a greatest hit album. I like hearing an album that
Mhm.
like kind of flows, like it's a story, like it kind of
Right.
goes. So Drake, like every time I hear a Drake album, I'm like, man, I want so much more from you. Like, and that might just be
Mhm.
me nitpicking because like I know people who are huge Drake fans and like he can't do any wrong. So it might be my nitpicking, but like when I hear certain artists, I'm like, man, I want more from you. Like there's always more.
Well, that makes what you're talking about. That story makes a deeper connection. Whereas like having all those hits, like that's like what our whole society is like. It's like only the good stuff. You know what I mean? It's like all right in your face, all the hits. Like that's the instant gratification. Like makes you feel good like right away. Whereas if you have a project that has like a whole story, like it takes you through ups
Yeah,
and downs, like whatever.
because there's albums that I don't want to like let me think, To Pimp a Butterfly by
Mm-hmm.
Kendrick. I can't really hear that album every day because that's
Right,
kind of
exactly.
darker. It's talking about like real
Everything.
issues in the world, and I don't know if I want to hear that, like depression and
Every
stuff.
day.
I don't want to hear an album like every day, but like I do want to hear albums like that. Like those albums are the ones I buy. Like those are the
Right,
ones that,
exactly.
cause I still buy CDs and stuff, cause I don't really like paying for streaming services and nothing like
That's
that.
what's up, bro.
So I still
I
buy CDs, but
yeah.
I
I have
can't
a
hear.
signed copy of To Pimp a Butterfly. I have like a signed copy of the vinyl.
Oh, really?
That shit's lovely. I have the signed one, and I'm not opening it. And then I bought a second one, and like that's the type of the vinyl that I would just play that whole song. But like you're saying, can't listen to it every day, and like a label doesn't want to put out a song or an album that people aren't bumping every day and they're not making money off of all the time.
Which like it makes sense, cause
Right.
they're in the business of making money. They're
Hmm.
like they don't care about even though I buy albums and stuff like that, somebody would stream that song millions of times. They're gonna make more off of that than me going to buy
Yeah.
the album and listen to it whenever I want. Like they don't care about that. So I
Yeah, man,
get
it's
it.
getting dark and twisted. The whole system.
Yeah, I get it, but like, it's not even about like music, like who's talented or whatever. Because if it was about that, then like certain artists would be platinum and certain artists wouldn't be. Like,
Right.
so it ain't about music as much as people want to say it's about music. It's about who can make a hit song and who can sell. Like,
Yep.
you got to be able to sell. You got to sell something, an image or whatever. Because some artists, like I just don't get how they're big. I just be like, how are you big? But then like I go on, because I'm not a social media person. Like I got
Yeah.
on Instagram in May,
Oh,
but
okay.
I got under Instagram under a different. I didn't go use my name, so I'm using like what I want to like be popular. So I don't use Jamal Harris like my name. I use the Harris Show. So people,
Yeah.
if people follow that, I'm like, all right, you're following the Harris Show, because I hate like social media and all that stuff. Because I don't want people to follow me like think they're following Jamal, and because I know people, and I'm like, yeah, but you're following me. I want you to follow the brand. So I understand like the whole
Right.
branding and stuff like that. That's important. I just wish
Right.
it wasn't as important. I guess I wish it was just about music and all that stuff.
I'm right there with you, man. Yeah, I mean, when people come and like see me perform,
Mm.
um,
Are you
I feel
frozen?
like that's what most of my followers are. Oh shit, am I?
You were frozen. I didn't hear
Uh,
anything you said. No, you're
oh
good now.
man.
You're good now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
good now, but I
I'm
didn't
about to
hear what
move.
you were saying.
I was just saying when people like meet me in person, it's just better than any kind of online thing.
That's the thing with well, you do live music too. So when people see you, that's probably when they're gonna be like, "Oh, I didn't know you were this good," or blah 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 blah. That's really
Yeah, like I can
probably.
sing. Like I can sing. You know what I mean? I think people are used to hearing the artist, the recording, and then going and seeing them and being like, "Oh, you can't really sing."
Oh yeah,
but but that does. I can proudly say that it does not happen to me.
I've seen, because I used to go to concerts all the time, and I've seen. I'm not gonna say the singer name, but like their voice was so auto tuned,
Yeah.
like in like the microphone has so much auto tune, and you can tell like they lost the crowd, like they lost it, like because people are expecting like real vocals and all that wasn't
Should have
there.
stopped listening. I think there's a really hard like tough conversation in there where it's like an artist is doing, you know, 30 shows in 2 months, and then their voice is like messed up. Like
Yeah,
you're just like it's not even the singing sometimes, it's all the talking and the networking after the show is loud. You're talking. So like that started happening to me, and I was still like pushing through and singing and like messing up, kind of like how Lauren Hill was in that Unplugged
hmm,
song where she was just like, she was talking about her voice, and that was all real. But
It happened to
when these
SZA.
it happened to SZA too.
Yeah, because I saw SZA. I saw her a couple times, but the first time I saw her, you can tell her voice was like, because it was like towards the end of her tour. I'm like, oh, her voice is
Yeah,
done. Like you can
yeah,
tell, even when she was talking, you can hear her voice like, oh,
that happens to me, bro. It's tough. So in that respect, like it is, they might throw a little bit of auto tune on or something to like help you get through the show. But at the same time, you want to see your artist fresh.
yeah.
This is hard to get both.
There's nothing like live. Nothing like live
Yeah.
music. Live
Hmm.
does expose people, but there's nothing like live music. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I got a couple more questions.
Yeah.
So one is like, I guess you had three albums. You had three albums to pick to listen
Yeah.
to for the rest of your life. What three
Uh,
albums would they be?
um, I think this might just be because of like my age. Um, wow. Yeah, I mean, let me say the first that came to mind, like Nas, Illmatic, Biggie, Ready to Die, and The Roots, Game Theory. I don't know if you know that
Hmm.
album, but Game Theory actually just came out. I just feel like it came out at a time in my life when like all those songs meant a lot to me. And I was actually in the room with a bunch of like Roots guys. I don't know if you know Dice Raw. He's one of like the rappers and like songwriters for the Roots. And they were playing me all these songs off of a new album that they were going to put out. And I'm like listening, and he asked me like, "What you think about this song?" I'm like, oh man, I'm honored. Like, yeah, I like this song. Da da da. And he asked me what my favorite album was, my favorite Roots album. I said Game Theory. He was like, "What? You like that one?" I was like, "Yeah, man. Like, I don't know. I like that one."
Mm. Yeah, I've never
Biggies
heard
on
nobody say
there.
that's their favorite Roots album.
Yeah, well, I think it's my age. I think it was like a coming of age thing. Like, I'd probably just started smoking weed. Like, whatever.
Cause, I'm surprised too. I didn't. Well, you said you are a big hip hop fan. There was no R&B
Yeah.
albums on there. That's it's kind of surprised me with that. Cause I
I
guess
mean,
the
I would.
Roots, they kind of mix
Yeah,
both. But
maybe if I took that Roots one out, I would put like D'Angelo. What is it? Is it what's the name of the one? Is it Brown Sugar? Is the name of the
Brown
album?
Sugar or
Is
Voodoo.
that just the song Voodoo? I have Voodoo on vinyl. It's probably Voodoo. Like whatever has like Cruising
Oh, that's Brown Sugar.
and
I think that's Brown Sugar. I have that one too. That one.
one of them. One of them. The first one was Voodoo though.
Yeah. No, the first one was Brown Sugar, and then the second one I think was Voodoo.
It's like Cruising and Send It On. Um,
D'Angelo is dope.
yeah, I mean D'Angelo's a huge influence for me. Donny Hathaway is a huge influence. John Legend, of course, and then all the trashy R&B that came out in the 2000s.
I mean, I listen to a lot of that stuff, so I can't act
Like
like
Mario, Marcus Houston. But like I was saying, I listened to a lot of female artists like Brandy,
Brandy was.
and
Yeah,
Brandy was so dope.
I
Full
got an older
Moon.
sister, so I listened to a lot of the stuff that I didn't want to listen to. Like as a kid, I used to be like, "Man, this song's trash. All these songs are trash."
uh-huh.
Now I'm just listening to all those songs. It's so weird. Like Monica, I couldn't stand Monica as a kid, but now
Yeah.
got Monica's albums. Like I'm like, oh,
She put
put
out
that.
a new. She put out a new project recently.
If she did, I haven't heard it. I know
Okay, I
Brandy
thought.
did.
Okay, I need to check. Yeah, Brandy did a song with Anderson .Paak recently, and I was like, oh, this is dope. I also went to high school with Jasmine Sullivan. She was like a senior when I was a freshman. So like that, just being a freshman and like seeing this girl who was like bound to blow up. I was just blown away by how talented she was, and then she did, and like that was just like a big inspiration to me, and just R&B. Like female, I feel like female R&B artists do R&B better now than men do.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Damn, there's so much talent in Philly. I'm
No,
low
straight
key.
up.
I'm low key like kind of jealous. Cause you naming people, I'm like, damn, they're all from Philly. Like,
Yeah,
they're all from...
my homie plays trombone for John Legend on the regular. This other dude, Boots, plays drums for Rihanna on the regular. Like a lot of our instrumentalists too, because we have a big church scene. So like a lot of the church artists get pulled up. Adam Blackstone was the Roots. He was there. Adam Blackstone does all of the like the tour management, the music side. So he was doing like getting all the background singers for Rihanna, getting all the instrumentalists for Rihanna, and all types of artists. Like Adam Blackstone is the dude in Philly, and I never met him, but I definitely would like to get on.
I've seen a lot of people in concert, and I would say like the Roots impressed me so much because one is the live instruments is just, you can't really beat that. But like Black Thought impressed that. I wasn't like a huge Black Thought fan. I was like, well, he can rap, but he can't do it by himself. It's what I used to think. And I heard him, I was like, this dude is amazing. Like he started freestyling, like they cut the beats, he just started freestyling for like 10 minutes off the top of his head. And he was like saying stuff in the crowd because it was a festival, and he was like, dude right there with the shirt and da-da-da-da-da. I was like, this dude is amazing. Like,
yeah, man, he's old school, and like he's the greatest. He's probably one of my favorite rappers living. You know what I mean? Like that.
I was like, Jesus. The Roots.
He's amazing. He's really smart. He actually went to my high school too. Him and Questlove went to my high school. It's called the Creative and Performing Arts High School of Philadelphia. It's a public school. You know, everybody picks a major. I don't even know what they went there for. I feel like Tariq might have been like a writer, but yeah, a lot of talent in Philly, and Black Thought can rap forever.
Your public school let y'all pick like majors and stuff to focus on?
Yeah, it was 6 arts: dance, drama, instrumental, singing, writing, and art. So those, and you had like three classes a day that were of whatever art you chose, and then the other classes were academics. And then also Boyz II Men went to that high school.
Yeah, there's so much talent in Philly. Goddamn.
A lot of people don't get out of Philly, which is actually a big fear I have. You know, I've had a lot of people say like, you just got to get out of Philly. You know, nobody ever makes it big in Philly. They got to like leave Philly.
They all leave. That's like everywhere. You don't really, like, I've noticed a lot of people don't get love in their city until they blow up, which is sad. Come back. Like, you got to leave your city, go somewhere else, go to like New York or something to blow up.
Validated.
Like, because even like nobody from San Diego blew up that I can remember. That like stayed in San Diego. Everybody goes to LA. Nobody stays in San Diego. We don't really have too many artists who blow up from San Diego. But
I can't think of anybody I know from San Diego.
Yeah, we don't really have artists that blow up from San Diego. We have like people who know somebody. That's it. We don't have too many artists. Like we have this dude that I grew up with. His name is John Gibbs, but like he left where I'm from, because I'm from a place called Oceanside. He left there and went to LA, and that's when he got like signed and all that stuff. So he left. Like,
right.
So he didn't like stay there. He was always doing music, and I was always telling people like, this dude is talented, blah blah blah. But people are like, he's from San Diego, he ain't going nowhere. Like the way they treat, the way people in San Diego treat you if you don't blow up is. There's so many people that I expected to be big and they weren't. Just growing up, because in my high school, there's people who are really creative. So that's dope that y'all have like a creative like high school that allowed you to pick majors and focus on certain things. We had nothing.
Yeah, and it's a shame because Philly has like a really the school district here. I don't know if it's happening all over the country, but you know they're closing the schools. They're doing a lot of charter schools, and that'll probably make it, this whole COVID situation will probably make it even worse. They'll probably close more schools and try to do more cyber stuff. And then they're selling those schools to like private investors and turning them into condos. And then, you know, gentrification is happening. These people are moving into the schools, the old schools, and some of the kids they're forced to go to like, a school closer to them that they maybe had like gang beef with, and just like all kinds of beef is going on between the schools, and all of a sudden this whole school is now they're in the same building together.
Damn.
And we don't get a lot of money. Like, our schools don't get a lot of money. So the
That's what.
school I went to is actually always looking for funding and donors, and a lot of the artists do donate back to the school. Bilal went there. So I think they do rely on their donors and all that. But yeah, as much as it did, it is really dope that we got to go there. It's just also sad that like those things will probably not exist in the near
Yeah.
future.
We didn't have any, like, I don't know if they had it in LA, but at least where I was at, we didn't have any schools for like creatives and stuff like that. Because who would have known where I would be if we had that? Because
I feel you, man. A lot of people, like my father loved music, and his father loved music, and they just never got to like do any of that stuff, whether it was their families not letting them do it, or the schools not having those kinds of things, like
resources. But
yeah, you never know. We're missing out on a lot of things by not giving people opportunity, man.
Yeah,
and it's going to come back to bite us. This country is I hope it bites them.
Yeah, it's
One thing, like, music wise, that I feel like I had an epiphany around was like when Motown was happening. I felt like it brought a lot of white people into Black culture, and I thought there was like a lot of love and like unity that was built in through that music. And it obviously didn't do as much as I would have hoped or wanted it to do, but I think it still did something. And then I relate that to some of the music now. Like, white kids can like dance now. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah. It's weird
and,
just seeing it with rhythm.
Yeah, and like TikTok and music, and I hope that they aren't just using the culture to be cool, and I hope it actually brings them to respect the culture and respect Black music, because I mean, Black people made everything cool.
Yeah,
Like Lee said it best. Like,
they don't. It's weird too that people don't know like certain people. Like now, like kids now, not just white kids, they don't really know like history when it comes to like music.
right.
So like they'll hear a song and they don't trace it back to like this is just the same song, the same beat.
Because we're getting old, bro. We're just getting old.
I feel like I'd be like, man, is it me? Am I washed? I literally be thinking that on the daily. Like, am I washed? Like, do I not get what's going on? Because like,
no, you do. It's all new to them. You know what I mean?
I'm like, what? Am I washed? Like, listen, I question myself so much more working in education, because like the kids would come in with these like new dances or these new TikToks and like explaining stuff to me, and I'm like, wait, that's cool. Like, that's cool now. I was like, oh, we used to like make fun of that. Like certain, like it's like weird. I'm like, man, I'm
like champion clothes, yo. You can't
oh
walk around
God.
with champion shoes back in the day.
Champion,
like, it's not cool
starter.
at all. It's like they were like $15. Like,
I used to go get stuff from Walmart. Champion and starter. Go to Walmart, get it for like $5. Now Champion is like the brand, and I'm like,
yeah. I couldn't believe it. I refused. I literally refused to
like
buy
I have
that.
like I've had these old like pajama bottoms from Champion that like every time I go home, and like they're really old. You can like they got like holes in them and stuff like that. Now, but I'm like, if I wore that now, people would think like it's cool.
Yeah, you got like the hobo look, like the Kanye hobo
like that's
look.
a trend. So like, ugh. But all right, I got one question left. Because I asked everybody, how would you want to be remembered? Your music or whatever. It don't even have to be music. Just how would you want to be remembered when it's all said and done?
I just want to be remembered as a good dude who was talented, like just like a good person, and somebody who like I think being a mixed person, like my dad's black, my mom is white. I just I feel like so many people have preconceived notions of everybody, but of me, like I'm light skinned, oh, a pretty boy, all that stuff, and then just the music stuff. Oh, he can sing, he must be like this, that, or the third. And I just want people to like see what I can do, and then like meet me and just realize that I'm just like a good person. Like I just want to be remembered as a good person who is talented and like did I did music because I loved it. Um, yeah, so something in that realm.
Yeah, that's a good answer. I don't even know how. I was like, I wasn't expecting that answer, but I was like, oh, okay, that's better than how I would close it. So
that's what's up, man.
I'm gonna close it with this. So thanks for being on. Where can people find you? I mean, I'm gonna have all the stuff in the description, anyways, but you can say where they can find you.
But yeah, my Instagram is like it's got my link tree on it. My Instagram is by Jordan Brown, and there's a lot of Jordan Browns out there. But if you type in my name on like most Spotify and Tidal, you might be able to find me. That's another thing with the name thing, man.
Yeah, like
if I can make some creative name, it'd be easier
like,
for people to find.
I know, like I call myself like Radio Raheem. I know eventually I'm going to have to change that, obviously.
You think someone will come after you for it?
Spike Lee?
yeah.
Well, definitely. So yeah. I'm like, but I didn't want to go by Jamal because I don't want like, one, Jamal is common as hell. There's so many Jamals. And then when I typed in Jamal Harris, I saw like a lot of names and I was like, you know what? We got to come up with something. This is not going to work. Like, so.
Yeah, man, I'm in the same boat. Something will come, and then maybe that'll just be a new genre for me. I'm kind of approaching it like that. Like, I'll find a new name, and it'll be a new kind of music. But for right now, I'm definitely just Jordan Brown exists as this good guy.
So it's Jordan Brown on everything, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just went through a whole thing with Spotify trying to claim my page and then claim the songs that I've been on. Like I have a song with RJD2 on Spotify that has 7 million plays, and I can't get that on my Spotify page because it needed to be uploaded with a link to my Spotify page, but I didn't have one back then. So there's this like I still get residuals off of that, but it's not on my page. It would just look so good, like had that $1, 7 million, blah. But
yeah, because it shows on Spotify like how many people listened and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So that would be
what I could do is I got it linked to like on my page now. It says appears on that song. Like it has that artist linked to me. So that's good. I really feel like Spotify does pretty. They're really thorough, man.
Right. All right, so thanks for being on. This has been your boy Jamal, Radio Raheem. And until next time, peace.